So, why are you running for office?
Well, I'm running for office because I have a passion for customer service. And every time I've gone into the city hall to do certain things, whether it be the planning department or the building department, it seems like I don't get greeted with, what can I do for you today? I get greeted with, what are you here for? And I want to see City Hall have a passion to do for the citizens what the citizens do for them. The citizens pay their salaries. We need to respect the citizens when they come to City Hall and say, what is it you need today and how can I make that happen? What will it take to make what you need to get done taken care of within the purview of the law? And I just, it's a big important thing for me to see just an incredible amount of customer service in our City Hall. I want to see our businesses actually employ people that live in Kentwood. I've visited hundreds of businesses around Kentwood, and I met maybe 5 or 6 people that actually lived in Kentwood that worked in Kentwood. I want to know what we can do to change our business situation where we can actually have our citizens work in our own city. And I want to grow our businesses and improve them in the way that our city is helping them grow, not hindering their growth. I mean, right now, if anything you want to do as a business, you have to pay a fee for and do this and do that. I want to see us go to businesses and say, you know what it's going to take to create more revenue? Well, create more revenue means I need to have a tent sale. Okay, have a tent sale. Well, let's just do a little $30 administration fee for a tent sale. And then you can create more revenue for that. Well, create more revenue is going to create more jobs at that company and create more tax dollars. It's all shared revenue. It comes in and it helps everybody. Right now, currently, if you want to have a tent sale, you got to pay for a whole new business license, a couple $100, and then you got to, go through hoops and bounds to try and make it happen. It just seems like, let's find out what it really takes to make the businesses prosper. It seems like most of the profit they're making for a big event goes back to the city. We'll shoot back in their pockets, which will then expand and expand and expand. And when there's more employees and more tax revenue from sales tax, that'll go back to the city. Let's, bring it back home.
So having said all that, what do you think the biggest challenge facing Kentwood is right now?
Well, I think it's getting the city to literally start with customer service and change their attitude towards what can we do for the businesses and people. We also have I don't know where the problem in the budget starts, but we do have some problems in our budget. We spend money on things that we could do a lot more with the money, get a lot more equipment for less money. We just purchased 22 rugged laptops for the police department and fire departments. Well, it was $120,000-ish. That's almost $5,000 a laptop, near $5,000 a laptop. We don't need to be spending that kind of money on a laptop. Back years and years ago, information was transferred by taking the laptop out of the squad car into the police station, back to the squad car. You got to make sure all that data is safe, then it's transportation back and forth. Nowadays, the data is transferred wirelessly. You don't need to have something that's indestructible by a truck landing on it because that data is not really in danger. It's all transferred pretty much as the keystrokes are entered. So let's, get back down to basics. Get what we need, not what we want. And I don't know what in the department in the city is making these purchasing decisions that then go to the city commission and they go like, well, it's for police and fire, we need it. Well, it needs to be looked at more carefully and more stringently.
Okay, the next question, how do you address those challenges? And you answered that pretty much, but what's your first day on the job, your priorities?
My priorities is I'd like to start out with sitting down with each of the department heads and discuss with them how their department functions, what they feel that their department needs, because I don't even know if every department feels like they're getting what they need from the city. I've also want to have some community forums where we, can have the citizens come in and say, look, what do you want from your Parks and Rec department? What do you want from your police department? What do you want from your building inspection department? Same thing with businesses. After I finish the department heads, I want to go through and have a couple of group discussions with employees and say, all right, so you're part of this department. How do you feel this department rolls and functions in the city? And what do you think you can see as a better change for the city? Keep it away from their bosses so that it feels like they can actually speak freely, and see what we can do to really improve the situation.
Moving into something that the city's considering right now, you probably heard about this whole public safety consolidation plan.
I was there last night.
How do you feel?
I don't think Kentwood gets a real positive reaction from it. You know, they seem to, in the most parts of it, I see that they get the short end of the stick. The investment we made into this company to look at the situation, I feel their proposal, their demonstration, their show that they put on was lacking of a lot of details that. If they're such a professional organization, I would have liked them to come to the table and say, well, look, what you're asking for isn't going to give you a very clear picture. So you're kind of wasting your money. But instead, they were happy to take our money, and they gave us a very unclear picture of what we actually needed and what it was going to provide for us. It didn't break down any numbers, and everything you asked was, well, that's a variable we didn't take into consideration. Well, that's a variable you have to discuss. Well, that's a variable you have to discuss. You know, and it's you know, too many open-ended questions. But the only important part I see is that we need to make sure we provide quality fire and police protection for our citizens. Something that they didn't look at in the report, and it was brought up by one of the commission members, was that, you know what, when you consolidate all of us to focus on our boundaries, what are we doing to our outside boundaries? And you know, that's really important because we have all these mutual aid agreements. Well, we have them, and they're basically suggesting we only keep them with our inner cities. They even said, well, they'd probably start having some problems in mutual aid benefits, you know, say Caledonia or, you know, Walker. Well, what happens when you're right on the borders there and you can get there faster? Well, now you're moved your fire stations in farther and now you can't get there faster. Well, your people need protection, their people need protection, and it doesn't all work out for the best for everybody. And I think it needs to be a wider view, though. We're focusing too small. We're focusing on just the 3 cities that are of the most major in the metro area. We need to look at maybe county-wide and see if that's something that's more feasible, because we're leaving out those parts that are surrounding us that actually support a lot of our infrastructure. You know, a lot of the people that work in Kentwood live in Caledonia, live in, you know, Belding, they live all over the place. Well, we can't only worry about the 3 cities. We have to worry about a larger picture because those are all part of the metro area.
Finally, you got an open camera and microphone. Tell us something that we might not have asked, something you want people to know about your candidacy.
Well, I have several promises in my campaign. One is I promise to donate $1,000 a month to our city parks. I want to have a program where I will go out and find a company every single month that will donate their time and or money, also in addition to my family's $1,000 donation, to make our parks a better place. Now, this isn't just throwing $1,000 at the Parks Department. This is going out and actively creating something at the park, whether it be monkey bars the park doesn't have, or whether it be a new slide or something more for the kids to have. And you know, maybe it's putting in a track every once in a while at a park if we can get a big enough donation. But something to improve each of the parks, to give more for the kids to do. A lot of complaints I hear in neighborhoods is there's not enough for the kids to do. Well, this will help the kids. This will help the community. More kids doing other things gets them out of trouble. And it's just a small piece that I'd like to see, because I think the mayor's position actually is paid too much for a civil servant.